Okay, today we're here at the Crescent City Model Railroad Club, which is in a state of transition. And by looking at the sign, this club was formed in 1956. And here we are in 2012. We're not too far away from this club's 60th anniversary. The club is in the process of going over from DC to DCC and major renovations on the whole layout. We'll take you through some of them, and I hope you enjoy it. The original section that's left is this right here from River City. During my membership here from 1989 till 99, this section was all redone, but that one part back there was the original section left over from when the club was originally built. It's the only one that exists, I think. I am sorry there will not be a train running in this video because it's right now practically impossible because there is no electrical connection. So for all of you past members, people who have visited the club, this is Crescent City as it is today.
Yes.
The new Crescent City. Some of you may have remembered it. Now there's no duck under. Some of the faces are still the same. Mr. Hunnell is still here. And the other gentleman doing all this hard work is Mr. David Edel. But this will be the new world. We will have nice yards and a new beginning with DCC, NCE DCC, and it's all being done in an extensive rush to get ready for the Christmas show. This is an example here of how much trouble they went to on installing the DCC. This club layout over the years had several different wiring systems to include a very elaborate set of relays for a signal system that was once. So they decided it was time to clean house, and someone made the decision very quickly that the easiest way to do it was to take the fascia board off the layout so they could see all of the wiring. They filled up 3 trash cans full of old wire out of the layout. It's probably for those people, and I know there's not a whole lot out there that are dealing with this old of a club, that they want to get into this type of venture. But here's all the new feeders, and you can see where the connections have all been made. They haven't been painted or anything at this point in time, but they don't want to do that until they have hooked up and test run everything, and then they'll come back and do the pretty up work. So here's some more connections. Some of these have even been filed down. So we have all the feeders that'll come down to the bus cables, which have to be run. This was a remodeling section here. This is not original. I actually was the person who did this general remodeling one night. In the middle of the night, we tore out the entire whole section back here. And to the dismay of some people, they were shocked, to say the least. And we, in 3 weeks, had all the bench work back in. Over a number of years, a lot of people have come behind it and done a lot of extra scenery work. And once the fascias are back on and it's up running again, I'm sure that it will return to its glory from the standpoint of a total picture of excellent operations. This scene right here depicts the Spillway, the Bonnie Carey Spillway, and the front tracks. There are a number of railroads that cross it. Actually, there's 3 railroad tracks that cross the Spillway. And these are depicting the 2 closest. The Spillway would actually be further behind. The Mississippi River would be in the back, further back. In front of this track would be US Highway 61, but they didn't put that in. The back track in reality for this layout is the cheater track to make it a continuous loop. It runs along the back wall all the way from the one end of the building to the other, so that when they have their Christmas shows, they can continuously put trains in 6 or 8 trains out in a loop, and it was done. Good example of a little bit of the local flavor here. They build bonfires alongside the river at Christmas and light them on fire for Papa Noel. So it's a little local flavor which always comes in good. The big power plant and the track to the coal unloading back there. I think this plant switched over to gas back a couple of years ago, but that was the coal unloading building, and that allowed it to be connected to the cutoff track, which allowed you to run fulls in, and then you could send the empties back out from bringing them from staging. Signs of work. This area here is known as Spanish Fort. There is a lot of detail on this layout. There was a lot of time spent by a lot of people, unnamed, over the years to create the railroad. I will make it a point to come back here and film this when they get it back in operation so that you can see a train operate. One of the interesting scenes on the layout comes right down here. One of the local estabularies, and we're noted here with this young lady approaching this Cadillac with American flags on the hood. This was put up in the 90s. I don't know what the message they're trying to get across here, but I don't know. Limousine with American flags pulled up in front of a building with a young lady. I wonder who that could have been. Anyway, model railroaders, they'll do anything. This building is about 25 feet wide, and I think it's 70 or 80 feet long. It is an actual World War II barracks. It came from Camp Ploche over by the Huey P. Long Bridge. The building was cut in half and moved over here, and it was part of the M&A Green Community Center. That fell through, and a group of people, 5 men, put up some money and started the club back in the 50s, as noted in the beginning. And here's part of all the electronics, that boxes and boxes of it. You get into this size layout, it takes a lot of DCC equipment. This is Turner City. And one of the long-standing favorite scenes on the layout, it's the R. Limbaugh Lumber Company, Spotted Owl Mill. For those of you who go back to 1988 and 1989, will understand this scene on the layout completely. Those were the days. We have some staging down here that did not exist previously.
This is all, this entire side of this peninsula was completely redone. All of this is new territory as far as scenery and everything. Actually, where the glue bottle is where the old scenery starts. The trestle was built by Eddie Thibodeau, who's long gone to run his trains with a better group of people, but one of our past members built that. And I'm afraid to say that my oil refinery here, this was one that I put in the 90s, has suffered some, let's say, disruption. A lot of cleanup work to have to be done. And of course, if you're going to have a recycling and chemical plant, you have to have a two-headed cow. Toxic waste dump. So we have a two-headed cow at the toxic waste dump. Oh, look, it's one of the new Woodland Scenics track cleaners. Always a project. And I guess the hammer is acting as no trains past this point. Now you've seen here with the street scene in the background, great in depth of field. In the back room here, we have large industrial sections. Actually, that's a big reversing loop on the other side of the room. And you have a number of staging tracks. That is pretty much inoperable. So this will be our tour today with the Crescent City Model Railroad Club. Here, located in Metairie, Louisiana. It is a NMRA, 100% NMRA club, and it has open membership. If you're interested, they have a website, CrescentCityModelRailroadClub.com.